I don't really have too much to talk about today. Just decided to jump on while I'm cleaning up to do screen printing Q&A. I'm getting ready to set up a 3-color job. This is going to be a 3-color job on the front of Next Level t-shirts. It's one of my biggest clients. We print for this company all of the time. This job is going to be 200 shirts. And it's probably going to take us a couple of hours to print it because it is a 3-color job. So I'm just going to be setting up the job and just kind of cleaning up around here, getting things ready in case anybody wants to come on. You have any questions or anything like that about screen printing, I am here to answer them this morning. Still having a hard time keeping the shop organized. Ken is actually headed to go and pick up the air conditioner, which was supposed to be put in last week. We have not had that put in. I'm not going to be able to do just a whole lot out here today because it's like 9 o'clock and I literally have a class that I'm teaching at 10:30 this morning over covering Silhouette Studio. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're wanting to get involved in-person classes, you want to take universal class, which to me is the totally best way to learn. One moment, y'all. In-person classes is totally the best way to learn how to print. So if you're interested in learning how to screen print or how to do any type of digital printing, marketing classes, things like that, I do hold those in Dallas. This is a spot gun. This will remove plastisol ink out of your shirt. So for example, if I print a shirt and I've got a spot on it, this will take it out. This will also remove vinyl from your shirt. So it's a really, really good tool to have, y'all. Come on now, you gotta get up out of here. One of the most important things you can do in your shop is keep it clean. Keep it clean. So my plates are pretty dirty. I'm going to use this fresh wash to clean them up. And the reason that this matters, y'all, is that once your plates get super dirty, it will mess with the quality of your imprint, and it can also put lint and dirt on the inside of your shirt. So we normally use palette tape. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Remember when I first started doing screen printing, this seems like a no-brainer to get this stuff off, but it was a challenge to clean plates. We used to scrape and scrape and scrape and scrub, and the stuff just would not come up. Grab something to get that off with. You stay your butt in there. You stay in there because you're doing too much. You're doing too much. mosquito is just wants to be in the way. So all I have is this little scrub pad. Look at how easy that comes up. Just like that. I used to spend hours scrubbing and scraping and scrubbing and scraping. Okay, so seems like somebody wants to call this hair, y'all. When I'm in the print shop, I wraps this hair up on my head. Let's see. Okay. Keisha, so I just saw your message. Why I don't use palette tape? Sometimes I do. Most of the time we do. If I'm busy, then I won't use palette tape. But you see how easy it is to come up. So it doesn't really matter. These are rubber palettes that I'm working on. Even when we use the palette tape, we still have to clean. We clean the screen probably change out the tape maybe once every 2 weeks. Same thing with this. So either way, you know, it's just pretty much up to you how you want to do it in your shop. If it takes me, if I can do this fast, then, you know, you might ask yourself, why bother with the palette tape? Sometimes the palette tape, if you use the palette tape, I find that sometimes it makes your garments more like slippery, to where you have to make sure that you're using either a palette tag or a spray adhesive. You have to really, really make sure that you use that on there. So I have some emulsion on here. I'm going to put some emulsion remover on that plate. Probably got on there when I was, the emulsion probably got on here when I was out here coating screens. Lately, I still don't have my coating station set up. Let that break down. So I will just coat however I want. If you are cleaning your screens and you see that, cleaning your plate, and you start to see that it's not coming off, you can just put this under the flash, and when you go up underneath the flash, it will heat it up and really, really make it come off even easier than what it's doing now. But we are super, super good over here. I'm going to do this, get all this stuff prepared so that when I get ready to print the 200 shirts, the next order, it's done. It's been a little slow this week, so I was going to turn on ads yesterday, but I decided not to because today is Wednesday, and I like to run my ads Monday through Wednesday. I find that Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, we're getting most of those last minute people who need stuff done, so I've been trying to avoid it. And that's just for me and my business model. Doesn't mean it'll be the same for your business model. So all of those are pretty much clean now, y'all. notice that some of my plates are browner than others. Those are places where through the years things it has been left under the flash, and so with these rubber plates like this, you will get, you know, it'll kind of bubble up and then go back down. So those plates, and just about every one of my plates has been burnt. But it does not affect the printing. So when I'm doing this, I'm just making sure that there are no thick pieces of anything on here as I'm doing this. Let me kind of raise this up, y'all. I don't see any more questions. So if y'all have any questions, just let me know. So today's job, I'm gonna have to probably manually register. This is the one that had that emotion on it. You can probably see the little blue spots where I just hit it with the emotion. It looks like I missed that one. So plates are clean. I've got in my mind to power wash the whole press, grease it up, and all of that stuff. So my plates, they already have like lines on them. So you'll see me when I come out here and I go to line up a job, you won't really see me and that's the other reason with the pallet tape. My plates have alignments already on them. So if I use the pallet tape, right, then I run into that issue of, am I going to put the lines back on every time? So these lines are still on here, and I'm just going to hit this across with a 2-inch mark. So I just like to do a couple of lines going down, right? Nothing too fancy. And then these lines will just stay on here for like months, like really months. So this is how my plates are set. So I do every one like this, or at least have one like this, and then the other plates, this will be the plate that I will register the jobs on. Oh, you start your ad on Monday? Congrats. traction when you're starting, when you are running your ads. You get the full amount of traction after about 30 days. Probably going into about 2 weeks, you'll start to really see. So I'm pulling out the screens over here. 3 screens that I'm going to use for this job. And the last time, so it's about time for me to remake these screens. These are the same screens that we use on this job over and over and over again. And this job doesn't have to really have a set print order, but I do like to lay this gray last. So say for example, if we're doing something with red, black, line up this one. This one will go last. I try to line them in my print order how I want them to be. So I can easily just come right here, hit the registration mark on that line, and I'm done. When you have the screen cleaned out, you can see through it, makes it real easy. And then I will go in and adjust it. And actually, that was not the screen that I want to register to. I go to this plate that I just did, but it's still online, so that's fine. Screen on the inside of it has ink on it. Try to not get ink all over myself, especially when I know I'm going to go in and do there you go, place. Today's class is an all-day class, a totally all-day class, so it may be a challenge for me because I haven't held in-person classes in a while, and so it's going to be a challenge getting back to doing that and getting things, back going with doing these in-person classes. Ink. Where is this ink coming from? I will put a screen over there and it's blue ink. It's blue ink everywhere. Make a great job. Not going to have ink everywhere when you are working on anything. Where are my paper wipes? So at least I'll have this job set up for Ken to do. At least I'll have this job set up for him to do because the class is really supposed to start at 10, but we're starting at 10:30. We'll probably go to about 3:30, which will still give me enough time to grab the shirts that I need to get and to get this order out. So Ken can actually print this while I'm life is happening. My elder sister is calling me. That's just a challenge when you have a sibling that calls you every day. My older sister is bipolar, and so I call it tripolar. And so she calls every single day. There's an issue going on, like just the simple stuff. So this screen did not get cleaned out, which is going to make it hard for me to register. After I do this job, I'm going to create some more screens for this job for the next time that I do the job, because these screens we've been using rocking these same screens for probably about 9 months now on this order. And as you do jobs, you'll start to see like things break down on the screen. And there's one screen that I could redo, but I'm using a different registration process. So I want to just do a whole new set of screens. Got ink on my shirt. So good thing the shirt is blue. Get ink on yourself, you can get it out real fast. So I'll do that, and then I'll spray my shirt out with spray gun. Good morning, Renovia. How are you? No questions? No questions, y'all? Good. So far, the home print life is going great. It's going great. I actually like printing here at home a lot better than, I guess I got tired and burnt out on the shop printing. And even though I'm doing a lot of stuff myself, it doesn't bother me because I can come out here and do it when I want to. So it does not bother me at all. This is why I said I'm going to burn another screen too. As you see how the back of this screen is taped up, that means it has pinholes. So it makes it difficult to register jobs when you have stuff like this. know what time it is. But not really much for me to get ready for a silhouette class. It's just to get in there and do it. Right? Just to get in there and do it. So that's the good thing is that when you have been teaching, you just get in there and just go. Sometimes that makes the best classes. When you're able to do that. Okay, I need tape. I need tape to take this job up. I'm gonna need more than that. Give me a second to go grab some. Trying to stay hydrated, y'all. Trying to stay hydrated. Tell y'all another reason why I like printing again. For me, you know, when I stopped printing, I gained so much weight. This is literally my exercise. When you get in here on press, you can do all kinds of, you know, you can do your exercises, you can, you know, do your tilts and your pulls and turns and stuff. There's so much stuff that you can do while you're in the middle of a job. It's crazy. I was actually exercising on that video, on the video I put up yesterday. I'm going to tell y'all something. So, it's talking about, like, how I like printing at home, right? When you run a home business, you can only have one employee, right? So, I'm going to have to be real creative because it's going to get to a point where I need to have some help around here. And we're talking about legit employees, right? Like, you know, putting them on payroll and all that stuff. We run the home business. You're only supposed to have, and here in this county, you're only supposed to have one employee working at home. So my main problem is the phones. Like when I'm doing this, if I get my hands so deep, my main thing is the phones. It just, so at those times that I need to work the phone, it kind of can interfere. But having the answering service, you know, things like that. Like yesterday, I literally stopped answering the phone at, I believe it was about 4:30 or 5 o'clock. People were calling back to back and it got annoying. And it's bad to say, right, because it sounds ungrateful, but people are calling back to back that really don't fit my business model. And so sometimes, you know, you start doing something and you have like all these spam calls that are coming through, and then you have like so many people that are calling and they want those individual shirts. And that's just this time of the year. And so I couldn't take it anymore because it was like literally like back to back to back to back. And so I just turned, at those times, that's when I'll turn on the auto attendant and let the auto attendant qualify those customers for me. And I lay down with sleep. And what happens is when they hear that auto attendant, they'll tell them, you know, you only specialize in this and that. Then they'll know to either leave a message or to push a button and go to another number, and then I'll know to answer that call. And I think I'm gonna start sending all of my calls to the auto attendant 24/7, because and let the auto attendant pre-qualify everybody for me. I did have a lady who wanted to get some graduation shirts, and so she kind of went off on me, because when she called me and I told her, I said, you know, like, it's no need for me to listen to your whole long story about what it is that you need if I know that I can't help you. Like, you call and you say you're looking for a shirt, right? I'll stop you in mid-conversation and I'll tell you, okay, hold up a minute, because, you know, I'm probably not going to be able to help you. And then I'll ask them, do you just need one shirt? Or, you know, and I'll just tell them, you know, our minimum is 24 pieces. And so this one lady, she got upset, honey, because she told me money is money. And, you know, like, okay, ma'am, that's fine. She said, well, when you go to Walmart, you ain't got to buy 24 pieces. I said, no, ma'am, you don't, because Walmart does not do customized items. This is what I do for a living, you know, this is so I said, you know, ma'am, the process that I use, so I'm really, you know, I try to explain it to them, and so I told her, I said, you know, the process that I use to print shirts is an intense process. We use screen printing to print most items, and so I don't even want to be bothered, y'all, really and truly. Like, a few days ago, I posted the video where I did the full color design using the inkjet printable line. When you see me do stuff like that, that's a customer that I've been doing their shirts, man. Like, if I've been doing their shirts, I'm not gonna tell my customers that I've been doing their shirts and no, I'm not gonna do, you know, you need 1 or 2 shirts, no, I'm not gonna do that, because those people are spending, you know, they may spend a few grand with me throughout the year. So no, I'm not gonna tell them. Did not get it right. So this screen right here, up under here, last time when I took this off, I actually pulled up the emulsion, so I'm taking that up. These big squares, y'all see, are big squares of emulsion. I'm not going to take off the registration marks on this job because I need the registration marks to tell me where this print goes. This screen right here sure is loose. Got to tell Ken about it. So sometimes as you're printing, and this goes for any press, sometimes as you're printing a job, you will start to notice that things on the press may loosen up, and so you have to go in and see what's going on. So this one right here just looks like the screen is like this in here, collar needs to be tight. Because it comes down like this and you should be able to push it up here. So that looks like it's a bolt on there that needs to be tight. See how I can do that, and that stays up. That allows me to work on the screen anywhere that I need to be working, doing whatever I need to be doing without, you know, hitting my ponytail. So I noticed that those registration marks are not open. I want to try to open them because you can really align a job just with the registration marks and not even have to look at the design. And over on that side where that red is, that's what I'm going to be doing because it's got tape all over that screen. So I want to try to register it to the registration marks. Because it looks like that's all I'm going to be able to see. Still loving my vastex presses. Y'all know vastex is my favorite press. It's a heavy press. Very, very heavy press, but it's never let me down. Okay, got that registration mark done. This one here was taped up, so I need to do it too. It's a job. Somebody tell me what time it is. CST, please. Good morning, Cleve. How are you? Tips for fibrillation. First of all, you want to use the quality of your shirts really do matter, right? The quality of the shirts matter. Try to use shirts that, as you start printing, you find shirts that don't have that issue. But some of your shirts, like your finer pipings, your ringstone pipings, things like that, you're going to end up having fibrillation. What fibrillation is, y'all, is when you print on a shirt, you'll see the fibers of the ink coming up through the shirt when you print the shirt. So what you have to do is sometimes you have to lay a roller screen down. A roller screen is nothing but a piece of Teflon sheet that you tape to the back of your screen, and then you can put like some grease on the inside of your screen. And so when you do the first your first pass, for example, if I'm doing a black shirt and I do my first pass on my black shirt, for example, if I'm printing white ink, I do my first pass, I take it over to the flash, and after I flash it, I bring it back and I go down with the roller screen and just squeegee over it with the roller screen with that Teflon. What that Teflon does while that print is still hot is it smooths it out like how you have vinyl, how vinyl is. So it will smooth it out. You got to remember that plastic soil, right? Plastic, kind of plasticky, so it'll smooth that out. If you don't want to use a roller screen, what I would tell you is that if you can avoid that a lot of times when you flood. That's why you always see, like you see a lot of people print incorrectly, especially out here on YouTube. You see a lot of people, they drop the screen and then they start pulling, right? You don't see them flood. They drop the screen, they start pulling, or they start pushing the ink, whichever one, but they just start printing. You're going to avoid that when you flood the screen. When you flood the screen, what happens is you're pushing that ink through to this side of the screen. You want to make sure that you coat your screens on two sides, right? When you coat, you do a 1-2 coat. So you a 1-1 coat. So you coat one side, you coat the other side. But what I always start with is coat the back, then coat the front, and then coat the front, then coat the back, and then coat the front, right? Do two times. Or you can coat the back, right? Just 1 and 1. Coat the back. This is for, you're going to do a 1 and 2 if you're doing like white ink. But if you're doing just a 1 and 1, you can just do, if you're doing like normal stuff in your shop, you can just coat one side and then coat the other side. But you start off with the back side and then coat the front side. Because when you're coating it, you're pushing that emulsion back through to the back, and then you lay that screen down flat. That's why it's so important for your screens not to dry standing up, not to dry standing backwards, but to dry flat where the substrate side is hanging down. That way that emulsion, gravity is pulling that emulsion down. It's all about having the correct mesh over emulsion over mesh, right? All about having that. Having that thick base of emulsion. That's going to stop all the problems that you have when you go to press with fibrillation. So when you flood that screen and that ink goes through, what happens is you have a thick ink well back here. So you have a nice lip of ink that's going to sit on top of the shirt, right? When you press, your off contact has to be proper. When you get ready to do off contact, and I don't know if y'all can see this, it's a good question for you to ask. So you want that screen to pop up like that when you're printing, especially when you have items that where you're seeing those fibers coming up through that shirt. So when you print, when you flood and you push, you're not pushing into the shirt. A lot of times people, you see them, they struggle. You really out there struggling. Don't struggle with it. Push it like it's butter, right? Push it like it's butter. And the way that you're going to be able to push it like it's butter is if you whip up that ink like I told y'all. I got to pull over that for y'all. If you whip up that ink like I showed y'all in my last video, make sure that ink is good and stirred up so it's easy for you to push. If you need to put a little bit of reducer in it, go ahead and put a little bit of reducer in it. But when you push it across, you glide it on top of the shirt. Plastic soil sits on top of the shirt, right? It doesn't push down off into the shirt. It sits on and lays on top of the shirt. You want it to just lay right there on top of the shirt. Don't be worried about it's going to be thick or whatever. When I say on top of the shirt, it's going to be smooth. So when you do that, because you have a thick enough base, already, you're not going to have those fibers coming through the shirt. Okay, so there goes a little boss up for you for today. And if you still have problems, sometimes people will lay down, you can lay down a clear base, right? Just knowing that when you lay down a clear base, every little thing that you do to a shirt is going to take time and it's going to cost you money. So I think that laying down those clear bases, a lot of the times for figuration anyway, it's a Band-Aid that a lot of printers use because they, in this industry, a lot of companies, unfortunately, you know, you have ulterior motives when you're doing classes and when you're training people, and you have a lot of people who are just out here on YouTube and they're self-trained, and they have never really learned anything, and so they have to learn by trial and error, right? I had to learn a lot of stuff by trial and error, and then at some point I did take a few classes throughout, you know, career and studying and stuff like that. But a lot of times these companies, they'll just tell you, oh, you have figuration problems, use this, or you need to do this, you need to do that. If I use a roller screen, the roller screen does slow me down on printing, whatever it is that I'm doing, when I could have easily just mixed up those beats, used a proper screen with proper EOM on it, emulsion over mesh, use the proper mesh clamp, and get it right from the beginning. And if you do it right from the beginning, you're saving time, you're getting the job done. And when you don't do it right from the beginning, you're costing yourself money, and you're costing yourself time, and you're stressing yourself out. And that's all about when it comes to, you know, like finding somebody who's proven in the industry, who's been printing for a while, not just like, you know, running to these print shops that have stolen other people's class materials and looked at other people who have done screen printing, and then you have a salesperson who's on the floor and they're trying to teach you how to print versus, and they don't print for a living, right? And that's what I find with a lot of the shows, is that when you go to the shows, you have people who have not printed, they're salespeople, and they're teaching you how to try to teach you how to do something that they don't do on a day-to-day basis, or they have printed 20 years ago and their techniques are outdated, and they're not giving you real life print experience. So that's a J. Okay, in case y'all don't know. Okay, so this is my Wonder Woman shirt, y'all, that I did. You can't really tell that it's a W. You can't really tell. I guess you can when you get up on it like that. Maybe if I had did the back solid. I think when I put that red on there, I messed up. So yeah, let me see. I don't know what time it is. I know it's getting close to time for me to get off of here. Yeah, you have to, with YouTube, y'all, you have to go in that back and turn on like all the notifications. Inkwell side once, coating. Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Don't coat the, I guess she's saying the shirt side. So you're coating back here twice, boom, boom, and this side one time. Whatever you do at the end, if you're coating this side twice, and then that side, you're fine. But what you would do is you want this side in here to be the last side that you coat, right? You want the inside, the inkwell side, to be the last side that you coat. And if you're using honestly, if you're using the thicker side of the scoop coat, you won't even need to do the two coats. If you're using like a chroma glue, you want to use an emulsion that has 50% more, 50% solids, right? Chroma glue is a thicker emulsion. And it really depends. And chroma glue it's a thicker emulsion. It can burn with just about any type of light, things like that. It does have humidity problems when it gets too hot. So if you're in an area where your screens are going to get really hot, they will sweat. In order for me to combat that in here, I have a fan on or whatever, and that's why we get ready to put that thing up in the window, y'all. So I'm going to put this black ink over here. I may not have time to do this full, my full setup that I want to do, because I don't know what time it is. Let me see, 9:55, that was probably 10:02, 10:02, 10:06. Let's see, I might have a few minutes. Get some adhesive. Oh, let's see here. Do we have any adhesive? Normally have a little bottle that has this adhesive already in it for me to work out. Shake it. This is palette adhesive, super cheap. It's kind of like an Elmer super glue, like an Elmer's glue, not a super glue, but like an Elmer's glue, y'all. So if you just put this stuff on your palette, you are going to glue it for days, literally. Just doing the top of, it only takes a capful, don't put too much. I'm not even doing a whole cap, not even a capful, not even half of a capful, because this job right here is actually just at the top of a shirt. And I just thought about it. I don't want, when Ken starts unload the shirt, I don't want the shirt sticking down there, so I'm going to put it up here where it's at. So this is heat activated. Once you lay your palette adhesive, see that's too much. Once you put your palette adhesive on the okay, y'all. So once you put your palette adhesive on the plate, you can heat activate it with the flash. So once you run it up under the flash, it will get really sticky. And you can reactivate it with the flash. Like say you've done a job and now you're ready to do another job, and your plate doesn't seem to be really like you got enough adhesive on it, if you put your plate under the flash for a minute, it will reactivate that adhesive that's on there. So this stuff here, we probably only have to buy it once a year. And if you find you have too much adhesive on the plate, before you get started, you take an old shirt and you just rub it back and forth so that the fibers of the shirt kind of stick onto the plate, and then it's not hard to pull it down. You don't want the shirt to be glued down, especially when you're doing like things like circles, squares, stuff like that. Then it will make your design become like oblong. Nobody wants a circle. A design is supposed to be a circle on a shirt, and then they get it, and it's the side. It's like an egg shape, right? That's what happens a lot of times. Actually want to let it dry all the way. I don't really have that time to do that right now. But normally I will let it dry a little bit longer. I'm not gonna stir this ink because this is the same ink that I used yesterday. I'm gonna use that black. And so it should still be kind of stirred up and all of that good stuff. But I am going to just give it a couple of swigs around. It's still nice and creamy from the other day. And I do see things I'm going to take up on here before I trying to listen for the doorbell to ring. This screen I have to manually register because I did not register these screens to press job board. And I'm only going to put enough ink on here for me to do the registration. I don't have to have a lot of ink on there before it's time to print. Have to have a lot of ink on the screen when you do the test screen. So if you notice, I'll show y'all. I did not even make this dark because I'm just working on the alignment, so it doesn't have to be super dark right now. All I want to see is those registration marks coming through. The reason I don't want it to be super dark right now is because I don't want that ink getting up onto the other part of the screen. So I'm not too concerned about that right now. Hopefully I can see through this. And I can. costing me money. That's how I look at it. I can't see the registration mark on this screen. This is red ink. That's red ink. Oh. Okay. This particular red right here has to be a certain red because this lady has a certain red. And can't give her nothing else other than the red. Her correct PMS color. Baby, because she goes crazy. She got to make sure that's red and she's getting that red that she wants. That red, I'm really I like to work from the locked position. Notice the screen is locked now. You can work from any station, but it just gets better. Almost just a little bit to that way. So I can look at a screen and tell. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. I know how far over to bump. So that screen right there should be ready. So I'm just gonna print over it. It's gonna move just a little bit. It's gonna be where I need it to be though. So I just took this screen. It was over here. And I took that design and bumped it over just a little bit so that, see right there where it was touching that black, so it bumped it over just a little bit, right? You can see here from the registration mark that now I could go down just a little bit, but it's right there at it. As it looks good to the eye. I set up the last color. That one looks like it's on. Now this gray, I do not remember what gray her gray is. So I'm just gonna put a gray on there, and then Kim will come behind me and just the gray. That ain't my job. So since I know that he's gonna come behind me and pull the gray that needs to be on here, I'm just gonna use the lightest gray that I can find, so that if he has to add a tint of gray, I don't have to clean out the screen again. See how much ink I'm using? Barely using any ink. Barely using any ink because we setting up this job. Don't. And now we take very sweet. Very small. Yep. So we're going to use this small squeegee. I love these squeegees right here, y'all. Something that people in the industry will never tell you to use. This squeegee comes off of Amazon. Look how thin it is and how light it is. It's like it's made for a girl. All it needs is a little padding right here, honey. It'd be perfect. But compared to this squeegee right here, right? Squeegee is a lot longer, but when you look at the thickness of it, it's a lot heavier. Now this squeegee right here, this is a manly squeegee. This squeegee right here is heavy as hell. It's a lot of wood. It's gonna last you forever, but it's heavy. Feels like it's about 5 pounds, right? So you gotta be in here fighting with it. So this squeegee right here is very, very lightweight. Very lightweight. If it lasts me a year, I'm fine with it. A couple of years, I'm good with it. I won't have to fight with it. That ink right there really needs to be. Okay, so we got to go down, down, down. So I got to go down or up. That looks perfect. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. But I decide whether I'm going to bring the black up or am I going to take the gray down? Take the gray down. So, this is pretty much aligned up in here, y'all. All I'm going to do is spray out those red overprints so that when black doesn't mean anything. Something's definitely wrong with this. Definitely needs to tighten that one up. good. Bump that down one more time. Pretty good. So this job is pretty good. Um, Need to do a little bit of bumping. So right here, this is all of this where it's light. That's just for me not really pushing hard. But this red right here, I need to clean out the screen a little bit. And this in here is going to need to go down just a little bit more. Just a little bit more and drop into that hole right there. Just needs to go down just a little bit more, which is basically nothing to do but to just bump it, bump that down, and it should be in there. So that R on that screen actually needs to be cleaned out. Clean it out. Everything else with black is fine. R needs to be cleaned out. That red, where is it at? Backwards instead of forwards. Dang on it. Red. Have it. Okay, y'all. This job is done. See how many times I'm using this shirt? start screen. I really don't have time to do it. See how many prints I've gotten out of just barely having the ink on the screen. So this job is now ready for him to come and do what he needs to do. I'm looking for an ink pen because what I do at this point after I have set a job up on press, I'll come in and I'll circle anything that he needs to do before he prints it, like with this red right here. You might want to bring it back over this way just a little bit now because I got a little bit more on that end than that end, but barely just a bump. And so once I leave from out here, if I don't put this type of stuff on here for the printer, you won't know. So that means bump the red that way. Tape this, tape this, tape this. And we are good to go. So when he bumps that red that way, that's going to bring this over just a little bit. And tape. And he's good. Pinhole. Looking at the rest of the shirt. Pinhole. That's how he knows, guys, right there. So he can come in now. I can leave this job. He can come in here and he can do that. And pinhole. Okay. So that's done and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands, put all this stuff up, and get in here and set up for the class. Was going to do the class out here, but this place is a hot mess, so I'm going to do it on the inside. Oh, I need to write on here check color. We're good. That's how I set up the jobs for Ken. Now normally it shouldn't take that long to set up a job. That job was burnt on some screens at the other house. I didn't burn that job, and so the alignment on it is not perfect from the computer to the press. Hopefully next time I'll go ahead and redo those screens, but like I said, those screens have been there for about a year. Let's see if yeah, you definitely switch out those screens. Yeah, I was brushing on adhesive. Okay, y'all, I gotta get off of here and get in here because it's time for this class, and I need to go ahead and make sure that I'm ready. I'll talk to y'all later. Maybe I'll get some footage of the training or something. I don't know. But all right, bye-bye.